Okay.
We are live.
All right, so it's March 4th, our weekly Healy Three Amigos user group.
Hello.
On the email that goes out to everybody, Paul takes these recordings. So if you ever can't make one, he's got a YouTube link in there. So you can go down there and see what was recorded from the previous week, if you like. And um,
Hi.
So let's see what else we have. So we've got that. And then our goal here is basically to help everybody use this product as they've got it. So we've got some new users, we've got some old users, we've got some users here who've just ordered their product and are waiting to get it. So great. You're going to love this frequency journey. And we also encourage anyone who's had their Healy for a while, if you would like to share an example sometime during this. What's happened? What frequencies have you used? What kind of result did you get? We'd like that. But my partners in crime here are Zach Wright over there, and he's over in South Dakota. And then just south of me, from where I'm at in New Prague, is Paul Butera down in Owatonna. So I'm trying to think, if you have any questions, just start putting them into the chat. This is definitely interactive. We're trying to do this for you. So if you have any questions, whatever they are, we hope to address them. Tonight we've got Paul starting off with he's going to be sharing the Meridians programs, and Anae's going to be helping him along. And usually what I do too is I will go through and I will take a picture of us at the Zoom group. And so you get a demo, what it looks like, what it looks like to actually run a group to broadcast a group. If you've got a family, if you've got a business associate, or in this case here, we take our Zoom group, and I'm going to take a picture of our Zoom screen, and then I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to show you how to do send out frequencies to the group. So I'm now going to share my screen. Hey, Lars, how are you doing? Welcome. Okay, share my screen. I have fired up the Blue app, and so I will do that again here so people can see where I'm at. So I got this going. So here, just a moment ago, I took a picture of us, of our group. So, and you can do this with a family, you can do it with your business, or like I'm doing here with the Zoom group. And the first time that I did this, so there you see, now I've added it. I've created us a group, and I'm going to record a vibration. But the very first time I did this, my purpose was just to demo, to show everybody how to go do a group instead of just an individual. Some people have done like a dog or their cat or their houseplant. But in this case here, I was doing a group. So I'm going to record a vibration of the group. And I'm holding the device here. And of course, it needs to connect. So if you've ever seen this, it needs to connect. But my Healy had gone to sleep on me. So I am going to hit and there it is. It popped up. And it says not connected. So I'm going to touch that. And it's going to go through and it starts to do this kind of activity where you see the green and the blue lights going, and it's now connected. And it's now recording the group vibration. So I've got a group vibration. I've got it connected. And now I'm going to give us a name, which is required. So I call it the Healy user group. Healy user group.
Would you hand me
Three.
my
Yep. Somebody got a question?
reservation?
Okay. So I'm saving the client to the cloud, and I'm going to perform an analysis. So I come back here and I hit this button here where it says Resonance Analysis. I pop this up. I continue with the database selection. Well, let me slow down for a minute because we've got new users here. Sorry. The focus statement is, what do I have the greatest resonance for now? So us as a collective group, we're holding out this thing of what are we resonating for as a group? And in this case here today, I'm going to run 2 scans, and I'm going to run them on both of the meridians, since we're doing meridians tonight. So I am going to scroll down on my database, and I'm going to select Meridian Programs 1. I'm going to press the Start Analysis button. I'm going to put my finger on here to start this, and I am running an analysis on the group right now. And if somebody wants to catch the people who are waiting to enter into the group for me,
I got him.
Zach, can you do that? Got it, thanks. Or Paul, anyone? So in here, I have just run this up. So us as a group, it came up and it said small intestines, 55, skin at 52, allergy meridian also at 52, large intestine at 50 and at 49. So pretty close. So I'm going to come down here under actions. I click vibrate. I will send out a minute to the group. So right now the entire group are receiving these frequencies. I mean, I find that just fascinating that you can do this. And what was really wild, I was demoing this a month ago, and a friend of mine, Charlene, was on the call with us. And after we got done vibrating it, we did a couple vibrations, sent it out to the group. Charlene goes, "Excuse me, John, do you mind if I share something?" Okay, yeah, Charlene, what would you like to share? She goes, "Well, I think I have a result to report after after these frequencies you just shared with the group." Okay, I'm interested. Tell us what happened, Charlene. She said, "I was eating something that's essentially like had hot melted cheese, just like a pizza." And she goes, "It was so good, but I burned the roof of my mouth." And that didn't stop me from taking a second bite. And I really burned the roof of my mouth. Just 30 minutes before getting on this call, where I was starting to get blisters. She goes, "After running these frequencies, it's gone. The roof of my mouth doesn't hurt. The blisters are gone." I mean, I forgot to record the phone call that week. So we didn't record it, so we don't have that on the recorded part. But Charlene reported that that happened to her as a group. I mean, as a member within our group. So we've all just gotten these frequencies. We've all just been touched by them. And I'm going to go through here, since we're doing Meridians 1 and 2 tonight. I know I'm going to slide back in here, and I'm going to check our group out. And we're the Healy user group from 3 to 4. And I'm going to select Meridians 2. So you can see how fast this is. Once you start to get used to this, it gets relatively easy. But like, I know I've got a couple new users on here, first timers, and what I can recommend is just play with it. You'll have fun, you'll become more, you'll more skills learning to run this. So here we go. Somebody's got a microphone on. If you want to mute it, stop the background. All right, so maybe not. Maybe one of the co-hosts can look and mute a microphone for us. So here we are, hormone balance, 65, 57, 48, 45 at organ meridians, and 43 at kidneys. So these are our top 5 categories. I did a scan on the meridians. There were 10 meridian programs. And what this scan did on a group, it said, what are our top 5? So it's a sorting process is what's happened here. So Healy has the ability within its little quantum sensor to go collectively touching us as a field to find out where do we as a group have the greatest need for frequencies. So I will again click this over and vibrate that. So while this is vibrating right now, I would invite anybody who's got a question about just what I did from a scanning point of view. If you have a question about what we did there, Paul and Ane are going to talk about the Meridian programs coming up here. But do you have a question about how to use the tool to do what I just did? Some people, as this is going on, can actually feel these frequencies being delivered to them in the moment. If you're one of those in there, you know, and you're sharing your screen and we can see you, you can just kind of wave your hand and kind of go, I feel it, you know. Some people are amazed that some people can actually feel these, and I found out it's about 10 to 15% of the people can feel the frequencies. But if you don't feel them, it doesn't mean you're not receiving the benefit. It's just where you are. In the very beginning, I couldn't feel the frequencies, but after about 6 months of doing it, it's kind of interesting. Now I've got the sensitivity. I can feel when these frequencies are actually happening. So it's completed. And what I will do, if there's no questions about how we did this, you know, basically it's on your phone. It comes over here. I touch the blue app. I bring up the program. I select it. In this case here, I picked a user group. I made a selection. And I can select all databases. I'll do it one more time. You can see how fast I can kind of go through this now. You'll get the skills to do that. If you're new at this, the more you utilize this tool, the easier it gets. And so here it ran up, and here's what it said our top programs were as a group. 69% for the gold cycle. Those are Nuno Ninas. We've discussed that before. Chakras, bioenergetic balance, bioenergetic support, and Healy learning. It's kind of funny, it didn't bring up Meridians, 1 or 2 out of that. So maybe it kind of sensed that we'd already gotten a little dose. I don't know, but that's kind of interesting to note. So since we're here and I'm generous, I am going to plug this in for 5 minutes across that for us. I'm going to kill my screen, stop sharing for right now. And if I see any other kind of questions, anybody have any questions on that? Otherwise, I'm going to turn it over to Paul to begin the part on, I mean, is anyone kind of amazed at what we just did? I mean, I'm kind of blown away by that. So
if you're not, if
everybody knows
at some point.
Go ahead.
I'm saying I'm always amazed.
Yeah.
Always. In a way, I know this is how things work, but still.
Wow, that's great. Thanks, Isabel. All right, Paul, I'll turn it over and let you. Let's see, is there anything in the chat? Do you have to use a different finger than you normally use for yourself? No, Brenda, you don't. Basically on the phone, that's a really good question. On the phone, that's basically just an on-off switch. The Healy, when you've captured the information for the client in the quantum sensor, think of that as like your digital quantum phone number, and it's captured. So when you're onto the phone, turning on the program, it's just like an on-off switch. It's not reading anything from you in that moment. It's not sensing any of your energy. Your energy is already captured in there with basically a picture and your vibration. That's how that works. So it doesn't matter. I mean, if using a different finger helps you hold a different intention when you're doing it, then in that case, that would be nice. But if you can hold an intention either which way, I'm holding it for myself when I scan, or I'm holding it for Isabel right now when I'm doing a scan for her, or for Cass, or for the group, you know, that you can utilize it in that way.
But that's really
sometimes
the key
they
too,
say,
John, is
what's that, Paul?
I said that's the key that you mentioned too, is the intention behind it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and somebody here, so Zach says use your left hand. Yep, that sounds, yep, I like that, Zach. So I'm gonna turn it over to Paul. You can go ahead and take it away.
Sure thing. So Anae has been gracious enough to help me out with this. She has a lot of experience with the Meridians and just generalized healing as well. So I'm going to ask Anae if you want to jump in wherever. I'll pull up a short presentation. Feel free to jump in to explain. answer any questions that anyone has as I probably can. I'm going to explain kind of what a meridian is, and I'm sure Nate can describe it a little better than I can. And just feel free again to throw any questions you have in the chat, and we'll kind of go through, you know, what the meridians are, and then how the Healy can assist those meridians too. So let me pull up my screen here. Did someone try saying something? I thought I heard something, but maybe not. No? Okay. So again, this is March 4th. We're just going over the Healy Meridian programs and what Healy can do for them. So I like to start here when I talk about Meridian and chakra, because I was confused in the very beginning with Healy as well, and I get the question a lot. You know, what's the difference between a meridian, and a chakra, for instance? And from my understanding is that and maybe you can, Ane, help me out here after I describe this. Maybe there's a bigger difference here as well. But I think in lay terms, like I like to think of this, is chakras are the spiritual energy centers located in our spiritual bodies, versus meridians are energy pathways in our body, which fluid actually flows. Realistically, to have a balanced body, we need both balanced chakras and meridians to be, you know, the physically, emotionally, and spiritually healthy. You know, I believe this happens a lot. I believe it happened with me, is that we see problems in our body when these meridians get blocked and there's instability there. So that's when we start seeing issues within our body. So what is a meridian? And I'll go over a few little points too, but I just want to play this video, this YouTube video that really describes a meridian in I think it's a minute and a half or something like this. It's not very long, but it does a pretty good job. And let's see if it actually plays. Does everyone see the video, or is it just my PowerPoint yet?
It's your PowerPoint so far, Paul.
Okay, let me share a different screen then. I'm having some technical difficulties. My screen is locked up, so let me use this. That's a first. Now I got to look at this little tiny laptop screen, and I can't see it very well. Here we go.
Can you send me a link, Paul? I could then screen share and bring it up if you get stuck.
Yep, I think I got it now.
Okay.
I'm assuming you can see this.
Yeah, we can see that.
Meridians are the channels or pathways that connect your physical body with your subtle or energy bodies. The meridian system forms an all-encompassing grid around your body. They are used to direct energies from your subtle bodies into your physical body. It is traditionally thought that blood, prana, or chi flow along this same system. It is also believed that these meridians, or energy points, reside within our connective tissues. Each meridian point and channel is said to relate to specific organs, emotional states, and elements. The elements were used to describe the properties of the organs that the specific meridians are related to, revealing their mutual relationship and pathological tendencies. This meridian system can be compared to a complex system of waterways in which there are main channels and extended channels. Energy flows from one meridian point to the next, uniquely entwined with one another. This body map has been a very helpful tool for the past several thousand years in China and other Eastern cultures, as well as the many other countries and nations that have adopted the belief and practice of meridian channels through acupuncture therapy.
Anae, just going through that, would there be anything else that you would share to kind of expound on what the meridians are? Oh,
We can't hear you, Anae. We still can't hear you. I mean, I can't hear Anae. Can you
no,
hear
I
Anae,
can't.
Paul?
I can't hear her either. I was just going to pull up to see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's a bad connection, Anae, but I can't. I don't know if anyone else can, but it's a little choppy or a lot choppy. I'll be able to see them now. Okay, well, we'll maybe have to come back, and I'm not sure what's going on there. I'll just kind of go through this, and maybe it'll fix itself. Let's see here. So, honestly, I think I'm having a few technical difficulties tonight. My computer doesn't seem to be doing much of anything here. Can everyone see my screen okay?
Yep.
You're good. We're good. Okay. All right. So if we're good here now, my other computer's locked up and this screen works. So I'm not sure what's going on anymore. So what do we kind of learn here? So what is a meridian? A meridian is really just an energy highway within the body. It delivers chi, or life's energy flows through these highways too. And when they become blocked, that's when we start seeing a lot of the issues with our body, and sickness happens as well. As I kind of stated in the video too, it's really a critical part of our cardiovascular system, but it's not considered physical in Western medicine either. It distributes substances like blood, chi, and body fluids through our body through these highways. So we can imagine that. I always take myself, for instance.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Mike Chip. You ever get really sleepy during class? I know I do. Or get random headaches throughout the day and wish
Hold
you
on.
had a way to cure them?
I think I'm
they're
getting
not
a-
so serious they require medical attention, but they do get really annoying. Well, when I was little, my mom would always tell me to press certain
Well, that is interesting. I had a nice YouTube ad from Mike, I guess. So moving on. Can everyone still see this?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay. Let me put my little 2 cents in before this happens. In that, one of the major things about why the Healy will work like it is as we opened up from the ancient time of, like, as you said, many thousands of years ago, and actually we have written word about the acupuncture points and meridians in 500 to 300 BC. And then along came a fellow in Japan and Bohl in Germany in the 50s and began to charge electricity through one of these points, and we could track it all the way through the body. And in 34, another scientist came along and saw even more of that. And then Becker in 75 actually put out a book called The Body Electric, and proved even more of putting dyes into an electrical system and pathways in the body were exactly the meridians. So we went back through science. Well, we started in here in our modern time, and science improved that these pathways were actually something that could affect electricity. Now we know that these pathways are 5 times stronger than picking up an electrical charge on your skin. That's pretty awesome. There you go.
Thank you for that. I sincerely appreciate it. I know there's a lot of knowledge that that you have up there, and I just appreciate you sharing every week with our team here. I'm going to pull this. I apologize. I must be having some type of technical difficulties with mine. It keeps cutting out on my end. I don't know what everyone else is seeing here. I'll try it again. If not, I may just have to pull it up on my computer screen without. So Anae, I'm gonna go back to you again on this next slide to kind of explain in greater detail, if you have something to add, that is, on what. Well, this is just not going my way tonight, guys. There, on how many meridians we have, and is there a way? Because I can't speak intelligently on this, so I don't want to. Is there a way, like, is there a what each one, maybe meridians, can you speak a little what they're responsible for? Does it directly correlate with what the meridian's called? You know, how does that flow, and how do they come up with these meridians? Is there anything you can add to what these 12 meridians are?
Well, I would say for us to pay attention in the Healy world to the description that's in the Meridian 1 and 2 programs, because they have simplified something that's a very complicated system. The Chinese said there was 3,000 points on a meridian, on the meridians of the body. The Japanese came along and now there's 100,000 points. That gets really complicated. We need to take these things into real simplified systems. And the system is cardiovascular system, digestive system, liver system, each one of these systems. And the Healy has broken it down for us in a very simplified manner. So we just follow the definition of each one of these in the programs. That's the easiest thing to do.
Okay, I mean, that's definitely a simple enough answer, I think, that everyone can understand. So if one of these, and this is more of a question from my end to you, is that when one of these pathways or meridians becomes blocked, do we have instances in our body where it's direct correlation to this meridian that's going to be affected if there's blockages or imbalances there in that meridian, or can that
Yeah.
carry over to other ones as well?
Yes. The idea of going and seeing an acupuncturist is that the needles they use goes into a point that stimulates the nerves to communicate more clearly through that meridian. Therefore, in that communication, the organ or the gland or the part of the body or the system of the body becomes enhanced in its health by doing so. And what's clear here in the Healy is we're doing that in a systematic way that's very easy. We don't have to go somewhere to have somebody stick needles in us. And by the same token that we're doing it physically, the earth has these meridians as well. So they correlate, and in the energy field of what's being put together with the Healy, we're helping the whole entire planet. And the animals, and that's why it works for the animals and the land and your plants. It's all correlated right there, because we all have, any living element has these highways and byways of energy to communicate through the nervous system to how the health of the body is, or the balance is there.
Okay, so the meridians that Anae is talking about, and I was a little confused too. So I'm glad you brought that up, because Healy does make it really easy to understand what to work on and how to do it with the meridians. Because when we look at the two programs, I mean, the last slide showed that there's 12 major meridians, right? But then your Healy programs show that there's more than that. So it was confusing to me at first, but Anae's kind of breaking it out. Like, Healy's making it really easy to work on what we feel we need to work on, or take the Blue Dot app, for instance, and take that to heart when we run a scan and stuff, and we know what to run. It's a very simple way. And I've done acupuncture, a patient of acupuncture for a long time, with years of experience with just my overall muscular pain and things like that. And it's helped an immense deal when I didn't have the Healy before. And that was one of the things. I think I went in, every other week to get acupuncture, and I felt it very, very relaxing. So to learn that Healy had something like this to help those imbalances and blockages as well, it was a huge yay for me as well. So, and it is for a lot of people. So,
Once again,
go ahead.
Once again, the reminder is, in our bodies, our health comes alive when we stimulate in any way whatsoever the balance of the cells that are healers and that are rejuvenating with the life force. And when we do that, the natural system, and it's in the Healy as well, to detox the toxemia that is going along. The Chinese, and particularly the ones that in acupuncture, say that the only reason we're sick is we're too toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And we have viruses and bacteria to eat up the toxemia. The Healy has the availability to turn up the rheostat on the healthy, vital cells and have them take over rather than these sick things that we want to get rid of. The natural detox system of the body will throw them off. Awesome. And Meridian therapy is one of the better ways to do it. You don't have to know very much. Just let it work.
Yeah, it's very awesome, and putting it in such a form to that anyone can do it, right? Anyone can do it at any time, anywhere, with a smartphone and a Healy is pretty amazing. It's just it's one of those tools we can have, in our pocket at all times, that when our body, not even when it starts feeling off, even before it starts feeling off, just for overall wellness and keeping those pathways open and alive and flourishing, it's a great thing to know. So, I mean, as far as the next few slides are concerned, I mean, everyone can, read for themselves, but this is some of the programs that come with those Meridians programs, with the allergies, connective tissue. And I've used connective tissue a great deal, again, with my past, and had really good results with it. And I know those were some of the things that my acupuncturist would heavily work on me as well, when I did do it. Now I haven't done it in it's been probably over a year now that I've been to an acupuncturist. I gotta say, I don't miss the needles though. Some of them didn't feel good going into, that Achilles heel part of your foot. They don't feel good there.
The other thing that I like about the Healy,
Mhm.
and what is being said on the Meridians and the bioenergy that we covered last week,
Mhm.
is if you pay attention, then to what the description is. And by the way, you guys, you were supposed to send all of us a PDF with that information, because we don't have it on the description of each one of those programs on the programs. Anyway, one of the things that's really, really comfortable here for Americans particularly is you cannot diagnose. And if you use a medical term rather than the description of how thing is working, then you have, and if you use a medical term, we're going to get in trouble. We do not use medical terms. So these descriptions are beautiful for you to be able to describe what's actually going to happen and go on. Again, the meridians are about the life energy flow. And if it's messed up, we're sick or we're in pain. So we're going to get that in balance.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for bringing that up too, and John, I thought we sent out this. This is straight from the PDF, so no one actually received this.
Yeah, I haven't got it.
I have many people repeat or report that they got it, so I'll look for it and send it to an A.
Yeah, we can resend it again. I don't know what happened because I know it went out with a couple other documents too, if I recall. We'll make sure. Nevertheless, we'll get it to you again.
Wonderful,
I mean,
thank you. And
yeah,
there's
I mean,
other people on here that'll thank you too.
Yeah, and then we have some new people. So if anyone does want this is a really good kind of in-depth, deep analysis of what the Healy programs do within the body. If anyone wants this, just throw a quick. I don't know if you want to throw your email or just say, "Hey, I'd like this," and we can get it sent in the chat because it's about a 6-7 page document that goes over all the Healy programs as well and what they work on. It's just a little more descriptive than what you see on the Healy website. Someone really went into some great detail to really put forth the effort and to show what the Healy does in each of these programs in here. We also have a really good one on the deep cycle as well that we can send out. Like I said, just let us know and we can get it out to you. But Anae, just going back to your point about medical terms, and you're absolutely correct. We have to be careful about how we address a lot of these issues. As I get on a weekly basis, you'll hear someone say, "Hey, I have this disease. How can the Healy heal this?" And it's hard to, you can't outright say the Healy's going to heal that because it's not, right. Our bodies, I believe, are fully capable of healing, and the Healy's a tool to do exactly what these programs say they do, right? In the end, I don't know. I like to think of the Healy as the vehicle to help our bodies get there, and not as an actual healing machine. And I think we always have to keep that in the back of our mind to not get us in trouble, because it will eventually catch up with us if we continue to do that. So thanks for bringing that up, Anae.
We have to be careful with our testimonials too, because we're really excited and we use the incorrect terms. The word treatment, the word cure is owned by the medical community. We're not allowed to say that. So be careful.
Yep, we do have to remember. I mean, this is a very powerful tool, and a lot of people understand what they have in their hands, but they can also let that, we can take that too far. So again, always think of it as a tool to help your wellness, and when you can, we show the disclaimer, right? It's not something we know being users of it, what the Healy is capable of, and we just have to be able to let other people experience that. That's the whole point behind Healy being in the MLM space and social selling space, is that we can allow people to experience its benefits, and they can be their own judge and share their own testimonials. So as far as the PowerPoint is concerned, I jumped around a little bit tonight. It wasn't a long one anyway, so I think I'm pretty much done, and I hope I can actually get out of here, because for some reason I am completely locked up on my screen again. So let me.
A way to remember, one other little thing, a way to remember is we are about health. And we go to the doctor, we go here, we go there about something that's wrong with us.
Mhm.
We are about health, right?
So just so I'm aware, everyone, is my screen gone? I'm having to, it is
Yeah.
gone. Okay, good. We're back to normal. I apologize for that. Now my screen over here is
I'm
gone.
sure I got my screen up, and this is the document. I dropped it in the chat. So Nay, this is the one that you said you didn't get. If you go into the chat, there's a PDF file in there, and you can pop it and get and download it right now to your computer. And so if anybody else is on here and on your computer, your iPhone, your iPad, this is the document that Paul sent out that has more detailed descriptions of all the different programs. As you can see, as I'm going through here. So this is a valuable document to have. And I'm going to go scroll down here towards the meridian, since that's what we're talking about. And there you go. I'm sure everybody can see that, right?
Mhm.
So I'm curious, does anybody have any, who's been using their Healy, have any experiences that they'd be willing to share here in the group?
I have one.
Okay.
So I've been doing a lot of renovations in my house and a lot of packing of furniture and stuff like that. So my sciatic has really been bothering me. So I went to bed a couple weeks ago, it was bothering me, and I put my Healy on the sciatic program and I held it on my back on my sciatic and I just rested like that. And I woke up feeling like $1,000,000 the next day. And I thought, maybe it was just coincidence. So 2 other times I did the exact same thing when my sciatic was flaming, and it worked exactly the same way. It was just amazing. Another one was my husband came home from work and he gets vertigo, and he had a really bad bout with vertigo about 6 months ago, hung over the toilet for about 3 days, doing all of the dizzy thing and everything like that. And he came home from work last week feeling with vertigo, and I ran the balance program on him and I resonated him with what he needed and ran that program on him, and he threw up once and he was finished. Like, that was it. I just can't rave enough about Healy.
Go, Brenda, go.
Yeah.
And how long have you been using Healy? When did you get your Healy?
I think I got it last September, October.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. I just think it's the most amazing device ever.
It's
It really is.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I was attempting to share about Healy with one of my friends, and he happens to be in the medical profession, spent 40 years there, and he wouldn't even begin to look at it because the gold standard there is the double-blind placebo study. And I just said, hey, friend, I mean, come on over here, come on a phone call, or go to Zoom, or I'll share stuff. And I can point out people that are doing this. And if this is a placebo effect, and that's really happening here, we'll bring on the placebo effect. I'll take a lot of placebo effects like this, because here's somebody with, I mean, here you are, Brenda, with your sciatica, and I have friends with their, arthritis conditions. And, I've had mine where I dropped a cabinet on my toe and it immediately settled down the pain. I didn't lose my toenail. So anyways, that's what's really valuable about hearing people's individual stories about this, or, what they've experienced with frequencies. And so thank you for sharing, because I think it encourages all of us as a community
my nose boogery.
share, so that we can learn from each other, about and how they work. So I'll slow down if somebody else would like to share, if somebody else has something, or
I've got someone here that has a Meridian story.
Hi. Hi, you guys.
Hello.
So nice to see you all. I usually listen from the sidelines. But I do have a Meridian story from a few months ago that I think is pretty cool. Excuse me. I kept getting Heart Meridian as my one-of-one program. And of course, you have that sense of, oh my gosh, my heart, is everything okay? I hope I'm okay. Anything to do with those major organs coming up. And it was high percentages. So I've never had any heart problems, but the beautiful thing about it is, of course, I trusted it. I ran it in the pink. And it was really, I think, to me, intuitively, and the effect that it had, I was going through a lot of grief, a lot of emotional stuff. And it was like my heart center, that meridian, and maybe you all can speak to that more, really was in need of TLC and care. And so it was like, huge emotional support running that heart meridian program. It wasn't about, this physical heart having issues. It was like about self-love and trust. And yeah, I don't know. It was pretty profound actually, because it was so effective, and it was such a powerful experience. Yeah. That's my meridian story. I don't have a lot of meridian story, but when they do come up and I run them, they're fantastic programs. Really, really appreciate those programs. But
Yeah, and to piggyback off, since vertigo was mentioned before by
Yeah.
Brenda, I have seasonal allergies so bad
oh, that's right.
that I wake up with vertigo in July and August usually. So I replaced a prescription Allegra with the allergy meridian program that I would run every morning. And the vertigo went away, my ears open up as throughout the 60 minutes of the program. So again, that's my little meridian tidbit.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Scooch to the side, let you back in.
Thanks. Anybody else have anything to share, or how about questions? If there's any questions, or
Judy
Go
here. I
ahead.
do have a question.
oh, okay.
I
go ahead.
ran the learning and the learning acute cycles. And I noticed on the acute cycle that the white line that moves was gray the whole time. And I understand that some of the programs do that. But my question is, what percentage do I put it on?
So when you're saying gray, Judy, do you mean that I'm familiar with two colors, either black or white? I'm not familiar with a gray. There is a gray ball.
There is a gray, and only a few programs have the gray, and it's intentional.
Yeah, the pains do. I know.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes.
Go ahead.
Yep. And the learning programs are
Uh-huh.
one of those that are gray. It's an intentional because they don't, from my understanding, and if anyone understands this different, is I asked this question before early on, and it's because it doesn't need to create that full circuit in the body like some of the other programs does when you're either black or you're white. And they're not utilizing that circuit in your body from one electrode to the other, right? So as far as a percentage is concerned, I wouldn't be able to answer it 100% for you because I don't know what type of voltage. I think at a comfortable range is probably still the right answer. But I don't personally use the learning programs that often. I use some of the job ones, but I would imagine there's still that microcurrent coming out of there. So a comfortable level would probably be the right answer. I know that even at, your 15%, which is on the low end, you're still gaining benefits from that frequency anyways. So I think if it's comfortable for you to run it higher, I would go ahead and do it. It's not gonna do anything bad. So
Can I
Okay,
answer?
well, I did notice I had a little difficulty sleeping, and I had an emotional reaction today from it, which is trauma from childhood learning, and I recognize that. But it was interesting. That's the only program that's emotionally affected me.
oh, interesting. Anae, you had something?
One of the things that I do, and Judy, you know how to do this, is do kinesiology on your body to find out where you go with that percentage. You know how to do that,
Thank you.
okay?
Yeah.
And I use kinesiology, or for those that know how to use a pendulum, you can ask what your body is wanting and it connects. So someday we can we can teach how to do that too, if you want.
No, that would be fun. I think that'd be interesting. I've used it in the past and have been shown, but it's a powerful tool.
Yes, it is.
Thank
And
you
because
for the
your
reminder.
body doesn't lie. Your body
No.
does not lie. It's our head trip that does. And I use it all the time, and particularly for distant work.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Isabel. Thanks, Judy. We
Um,
can't-
my question is for Paul. Your experience with going to acupuncture sessions and using the Healy as a replacement. So how did you decide which program to run? First of all, did you ask your practitioner? And then also, did you end up putting the what do you call it, those patches on the points that or the area of the body that your practitioner would put them on? Like, how did you, I think it takes some knowledge to know what you're doing with which program to run and what is helping you. So
Yeah,
I just wanted to know how you.
Yeah, no, good question. And there was probably a point before I was introduced to the Healy that I'd stopped acupuncture, not because I didn't want to do it anymore, but because I was doing some other things in the natural world that were helping me extensively. So what's great about the Healy, and Nate, you touched on this earlier, is that you don't have to know a lot about meridians in order to have them be helped by the Healy. What's great about it is all I need to know, whether it's I know what my practitioner before was working on, I can either run those programs or trust what my blue dot says and run them as well. And the thing about it is we can put those frequencies in our body, but we don't need to know where to put them. We don't need to know anything about the meridians in order for it to do what it does. I just always put them on the wrists. Now, there's other programs that I've ran out there that after I played with them enough, let's take the release program, for instance, under the gold cycle. I've always had a very, with my past fibromyalgia that I've had, it's always manifested in my neck and back. And when I started using the Healy and saw these, amazing results within my body, I noticed when I put pads in certain areas, it even gave me more relief. So I got to play around with it. And again, it's one of the great things is there's no specific way to use this incredible little device, right? It's really a lot of it's intuition. And again, like Ine says, your body doesn't lie. Sometimes our intuition can tell us a whole heck of a lot more than someone else can tell us about our body. We know ourselves better than anyone. And to have a device that can almost read us just as well and give us a solution without really having to know anything is in my mind, it's nothing short of a miracle of how this has came into my life and what it's done for me. And anyone that knows me can attest to that. Is I was a shell before, and now I'm not anymore. And that's what's great to me, and that's what I love to share. And that's why I love hearing everyone else's stories and their experiences with the Healy, because it is so powerful. Yet we don't need to be a practitioner to use it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Lars, I'm wondering, I have a friend of mine who's on here who's a skier, and he's just had some surgery, to help him out and to get back on his ski season. And I'd like to have him, hear yours. Give him a frame of, if you want, like your age and your ability to go after stuff. But I think he would benefit hearing from this. He lives in Colorado.
Oh.
Thank you, Lars.
All right. I live in the mountains of British Columbia, and I'm an avid skier. And I was out touring one day, and as I'm skiing down from top of the mountain, I got about a third of the way down, my ski popped out and twisted my knee really bad. I skied down the rest of the way, and when I got home, the pain in my knee was so intense. I couldn't stand it. And I thought for sure this is going to be 6 weeks of healing before I'm back on the boards again. But I remembered that Healy, if you can get it within the first 4 hours, that it'll interrupt that swelling cycle. So I immediately put the Healy on it for joint pain, and within And it, a number of them just kept putting different programs on. And by the next day, it was still really painful. But by the Sunday, I was walking, and by the following Thursday, I was out skiing again. So, and I would just keep working on it every day, just putting the pads on it for pain, and it's amazing. That was the clincher for me.
That's great. Thank you.
Thanks, Lars. Appreciate you sharing that.
I always get it because everyone, it always amazes me when you start talking with more and more people, because everyone has that clincher story, it seems like, that I talk to, whether it be something from a learning experience or whether it be something from a pain experience or anything in between. Whether it be mental, emotional, spiritual, everyone has that aha moment with the Healy, it seems like, that you just love to hear. And I get excited by everyone's experience. It's just fun. It's just fun for me.
Well, we're coming up to the top of the hour. If there's I see we've got a question here from Brenda. Paul, you want to drop the link in, or for the YouTube channel? Are you able to drop that in?
Yeah. Let me.
Can you do that more quickly than I can, or maybe I can find it and get it?
Well, I actually probably have it right here. Let me pop it in here. Our channel. I'll copy and paste it quick. All right. I just popped the link in for our YouTube channel as well.
So in case you miss it, there it is every week. There it is every week. We're trying to record these so you have it. And then for, I guess I'll just leave one last little bit here before we sign off. If you've, just recently come on board and you're here within your first 30 days, there is an opportunity. If you share, 3 Healys, you can pick up another. You can either get an upgrade or you can get a free resonance on that, which is really kind of nice. I mean, it's a huge deal. And if you have any questions, just ask whoever invited you here to do it. But it's a very generous promotion they have. It's called their Fast Start. And so it's really kind of amazing, and it's relatively easy. You don't have to know a lot. You can draw on any one of us here, and we can help you share Healy by doing something as simple as this with the Zoom call. And heck, you can even refer them to our recorded phone calls or Zoom calls and share them there, where they get to hear firsthand where somebody has spoken about what they've done. And that's one of the reasons we like people to share their testimonials, because as Anae was bringing up, the medical folks have try and own and create a monopoly that theirs is the only way to do something. And so we just have to kind of skirt around that and just share it here and share what is working and what is happening. So I know that I've just had a lot of fun sharing this with friends. I can't even believe that that you can actually earn a commission doing something like this, because I would do it for free. I mean, I really care about. I've got a friend of mine who's still working to try and get the benefits of this, and we're going on for a little bit and we're discovering some issues. But he was like feeling guilty and stuff. I said, no, don't worry. I said, I'm going to be so happy. We're both in our 50s, 50s, 60s in here, and it's like, let's get this out there. Let's keep that vitality, because I like to be think of myself as a guy that's still at 22 and can do all the crazy stuff that I used to do with Vano down there in Huntington Beach, water skiing, doing the crazy stuff, right, Vane? So, anyways, that's it for us here tonight. Unless anybody has a question, we'll see you again next week. Plug in something. Cass, I see your question there. We can talk about the time waiver stuff. We're thinking about maybe one of these calls, as I get a little more familiar, I'll actually share with you guys the time waiver. Time waiver, I'll just give a real quick thing, is is where Healy comes from. The company, it's a German company, Time Waver, and they have, well, here. It looks like this, is what the box looks like. It's the mothership. It's connected up to a PC, and I've got access to databases of like 5 or 6 times more than the Healy has. Plus, I get a lot more abilities where I can dial in parameters, where the Healy gives us stuff general, but I can actually get in there and really tweak. You know, I can spend some time with somebody, ask them their questions, what is it? And I can do it one of 2 ways. I can go through and actually build a program specific and unique to just you that you can run on your Healy. And then there's another way that I can do it from here to there. I can vibrate a program to you and have that. If you're familiar now on the Blue Dot app, you know, you saw tonight, I could choose 1 minute, 20 seconds, and then you vibrate 1 minute, 20 seconds. Well, I can set up an interval for over the next month that every 4 hours you get a 37-second shot, or every day. So you get a nice little thing, and there's parameters to how to go figure out that interval kind of stuff, but that you can really get this kind of stuff. And you can dial into all sorts of stuff in very unique ways to create balance. And I don't know, Paul, maybe just as we sign off, you want to share a bit about what's going on in your household with the thing we're playing with right now?
Yeah, so John and I, we've been since he's gotten this machine. I'll keep it short because I could probably John and I will have conversations with this for hours, and and so we've been playing around with this since he got it, and we've had instances in our household to kind. Well, we just wanted to bring more compassion, and things get hectic, and there was some. My wife wanted to work on how she responded to our son and our daughter and things like that. So the whole family dynamic, how we responded to each other when things get hectic. So John kind of put us in this program within the Healy, and it kind of sorted us out. It's really weird. It's hard to explain without seeing it, but it kind of placed us in this circle, and how each of us were relating to each other. And the biggest it's funny, the biggest thing I took away from it was that we have a puppy, and he's my dog by far, right? He follows me around everywhere. And when he came up, yeah, we even included the dog in it. He's sitting right by my circle, looking straight at me. So I'm like, oh boy, this thing's so accurate, it's crazy. But so we were trying to work on some of those family dynamics. So he made a program for us, and he's been running it here for, I don't know what, about a week, maybe.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah.
We've seen so much. It's like during the stressful times, everything has, and I've already noticed it. And even my wife said today, she's like, it just seems like there's less stress. There's less of this every morning, getting the kids off to school, things like that. And it seems like we're talking, we're bringing the level from here to here now, right? And if that's all that does, you know, hallelujah, amen to that. I'm all for it. But it's been an experience. I'm very excited to see what the next three weeks brings, because it's been so fun so far to experience it. And
That's awesome.
It's such a powerful machine, that darn thing. I could go on and on about it, but I won't.
Hey, John, put us on that list too, please. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool, the different in such a short period of time too.
So, all right. Well, we've run a few minutes over. We'd like to respect everybody's time. Thanks for a little bit of sharing. And yeah, thank you for showing up, and give us any questions that you want for what you'd like to see next week or the week after that. We're just trying to go through to see what we can do to bring this knowledge here to you all. So thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Have a nice weekend.